Here are things you probably didn't know about Gordon Ramsay. Number 9. The Boss's what? Gordon Ramsay is probably as wild as you'd imagine in real life as he is on his TV show. At this moment, Gordon Ramsay is a successful, internationally renowned, multi-Michelin starred chef. He's the owner of a string of successful restaurants across the globe and a star internationally, with shows such as Kitchen Nightmares, Hell's Kitchen, Hotel Hell, and MasterChef US. However, his life wasn't filled with just awards and accolades. At an early age, his plan was to try and see how far he can get to becoming a soccer star, but injuries derailed any soccer dreams he had. He was on target to turn professional when an injury ended his playing days at the age of 19, and that's when Gordon needed a plan B. He got into hotel catering hoping to travel the world, and then he became the chef in the kitchen at a restaurant called the Wickham Arms. However, he was soon forced to leave that job because, let's just say he had relations with the boss's wife. Gordon claimed that there was nothing his 19-year-old self could do when his 33-year-old boss's wife was hitting on him. Hey, I'm not going to condone that one, but all I can say is we've all made mistakes. Number 8. Tough love. Gordon Ramsay's hard work and dedication to his craft and businesses got him an estimated fortune of $54 million. Ramsay and his wife, Tana, may enjoy a few of the finer things in life, but they're working hard to make sure their kids understand the value of hard work. Ramsay and his wife have 3 daughters and a son, and they're definitely not one of those parents who spoil their kids with all sorts of stuff just because they can. Even though he can pop that champagne because he got that dough, Gordon Ramsay doesn't let his kids enjoy his hard-earned riches all that much. For example, when the Ramsay family is on vacation, Gordon and his wife Tana travel in first class, while the kids always fly economy. When he got slammed for letting his children fly in economy, he just said that his kids haven't worked enough to be able to afford flying in first class. He argued that he didn't fly on a plane until he was 19 years old, and when he sat on the plane cramped for 8 hours with food that was cooked 3 weeks ago, he was just happy to take off and be in a plane. Hey, I can't disagree with him there. You can't have champagne taste with a malt liquor work ethic. That line's from boxer Ed Lattimore off Twitter. Shout out to him. Anyways, remember the $54 million I mentioned earlier? Well, his kids won't see much of it when Gordon passes away either. He said he's not leaving anything to his kids, not because he wants to be mean to them, but because he doesn't want to spoil them. He's agreed with his wife to give them 25% deposit on a house, and that's about it. Hey, tough love. Number 7, answers Reddit questions. On his show Hell's Kitchen, Gordon regularly yells at cooks who can't keep up. If people come to him with their problems, he berates them. How's that saying go? Can't take the heat? Stay out of the kitchen? His whole TV persona is based on being the world's worst boss. But really, that is how Gordon Ramsay is, it seems. He just can't take incompetence. But that doesn't mean he's mean just to be mean. Many people can't imagine him being the guy who actually answers, or reads for that matter, Reddit questions. Not only that, but believe it or not, Ramsay went on Reddit and did an AMA, which means Ask Me Anything for those of you who don't know. When a fellow chef asked him a sincere, deeply personal question about what to do when he's hit a roadblock in his career, you probably have a scenario of what is coming. However, you may be surprised at the answer. As it turns out, real-life Gordon Ramsay is actually a really kind, big-hearted type of dude. He didn't unleash on the guy, but he put himself in his shoes. Not just because he's a good person, but because he's actually been there. He rose up through the ranks, putting in long hours for long-paying kitchens all over the world. That's why he can give the advice that he gives. Number 6, GR Foundation. Maybe some of the guys know this, but Gordon Ramsay isn't as insensitive as he appears to be on television. He's actually a great guy who loves to help anyone out, including the less fortunate. His own personal foundation is the proof of that. Gordon and his wife Tana launched the Gordon Ramsay Foundation, which raises funds to help Great Ormond Street Hospital provide world-class care for young kids and their families. Funds raised support charities such as Cancer Research UK, Action Against Hunger, and the Scottish Spina Bifida Association. The Gordon Ramsay Foundation has also launched an exclusive Ironman training club called the GR100. GR100 members receive training with top experts, meet with Olympic triathletes, and get top-of-the-range training gear. GR100 hopefuls don't need to be seasoned athletes, but just dedicated, passionate, and driven people who want to take on life-changing challenge. Hey, if you actually get accepted, you'll just have to pay a little over $4,000 and raise another $4,000. All for a great cause though. Number 5, passion for exercise. Gordon Ramsay is constantly in motion. As a chef, he's used to being constantly on his feet, cooking and managing the kitchen. Even when he's sitting down, he's fidgeting. In a way, that on-the-go demeanor captures him perfectly. He'd rather jump to action than make small talk. Ramsay exercises regularly. He's competed in 5 Ironman triathlons to date, and he says he stays on track by scheduling 2 major races per year, one in June and one in December. Gordon swims every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at a swim club that's a few minutes from his house in Los Angeles, and he also rides his bike on the weekends. Sundays are his most intense training days when he says he gets in, get this, an 8-hour workout. He gets up at 4 a.m., gets on his bike by 5, and rides for roughly 112 miles. Then he does a 10 or 15K run after that. If that's not insane, what is? He says that his commitment to fitness isn't about vanity, rather it's not letting history repeat itself since his father died of a heart attack. Number 4, he's had plastic surgeries. When it comes to celebs, it seems like everyone does some work on their face. A lot of people do it, but no one seems to talk about it. However, Gordon Ramsay has always been upfront about his plastic surgery considerations. Back in 2010, his face was covered with wrinkles, and apparently he got made fun of. A lot. Not by just anyone. Believe it or not, it was his kids. They were the ones who made him so self-aware of his wrinkles. They constantly compared his face to the faces of some of their friends' fathers, and they mocked him daily about his wrinkles. At one point, his daughter Matilda was trying to squeeze coins in between his wrinkles while he was sleeping. Kids, you gotta love them. While filming in LA, one brutally honest makeup artist even asked if his face was the result of a car crash when he was a kid. Seriously? What's wrong with some of the people in LA? After doing the laser cosmetic procedure, he said he felt more comfortable in front of the cameras. But he also said he's not planning to do any cosmetic surgery ever again. To be honest, I never thought Gordon Ramsay was the type to be bothered by words, but hey, I guess he did it for his kids. Number 3, Gordon's Twitter roasts. We all know by now Gordon Ramsay has his own brand of personality, and he doesn't hold back what he thinks. When he's not busy cooking or filming for his TV shows, he actually occasionally takes the time to respond to various people on Twitter. This usually consists of someone sending Gordon a photo of a dish that's purposefully horrific. He plays along and dials his anger up to an 11. If that's actually possible, and that's how he entertains his roughly 5 million followers with his typically hilarious played-up critiques of their shitty, gross, and depressing attempts in the kitchen. That's a Gordon Ramsay quote, by the way. He's always given out a lot of tough love on TV, so he figured the Twitterverse was prepared for it as well, especially if most of the submissions are jokes. Maybe it's just his way of bonding with his fans. Whatever his reasons are, I know I'm getting a ton of entertainment following him on Twitter. Number 2, Gordon Ramsay cares about the industry. When it comes to Gordon Ramsay, it's not about the money. He firmly believes in conducting business ethically in the fishing industry. He actually traveled to Costa Rica to uncover the illicit trade in shark fins as part of Channel 4's Big Fish Fight series. The series traced some of the biggest culprits to Costa Rica. The day before they got to Costa Rica, they learned about a Taiwanese crew that had landed a haul of hammerhead sharks. Apparently, some of these gangs operate from places that are like forts, with barbed wire perimeters and gun towers. Gordon and the film crew had the bright idea of trying to infiltrate one of these places. However, surprise, they got caught. Gordon Ramsay had to run down from the roof of a building to escape, and guys were pouring gasoline all over him as he was running down the stairs. Luckily, he was able to escape with the film crew unscathed in their cars. Later on in the trip, in another smart move, he and the film crew managed to talk their way onto one of the fishing boats involved in shark fins. On the ship, there apparently wasn't anything illegal, but Gordon Ramsay decided to slip in the water to investigate. He found a sack full of shark fins while swimming that was attached to one of the boats, and he threw it on the deck. As soon as he did that, the fishermen started screaming and pointed rifles at him and his crew. Somehow, some way, they got out of that situation when the police got involved. So what was the police's advice? Leave the country or else they'd get shot. Number 1, heat's gotta be on high. Just in case you're still not sure whether Gordon Ramsay is a nice guy or an asshole, let's just put it this way. He's nice with the people he thinks he should be nice with, and he gives his worst to the people he thinks absolutely deserve that kind of behavior. We've witnessed moments of pure niceness and moments of pure ruthlessness. And no, it's not just an act, or as he likes to put it, he's a passionate guy who sometimes gets misconstrued. The pressure inside a professional kitchen is tremendous. He's confessed there's also some clever editing going on, which makes you think that the producers want to point out his temper in order to maybe raise viewership. Either way, he said it himself. He's the happiest chef in the world when things are going right, but he won't put up with anything less than perfect when he's running a professional kitchen. He just calls it industry language, and nope, he doesn't feel the slightest bit sorry for insulting people who mess things up and think that they're able to run a professional restaurant. Here's what's next.
The most brutal way. After cutting their fins up, they're thrown back into the sea. And what's a shark to do without its fins? The shark pretty much just dies. The worst part is that the fin doesn't even add any...